Hello, welcome to the place on the internet I talk about comic books. I apologize for the creaky chair as usual. I apologize for my American Taliban facial hair. Everybody's pointed it out. I'm doing my best. It's jeans. Uh, New comic coming in solicits of about a week. Be excited. I'll be pumping it again. Pre-pumping it doesn't seem like the thing. I don't know. You're supposed to get announcements in comic books. It's up in the air if the actual announcement matters or if it just kind of legitimizes you, even though very few people see it. Uh, but it may get a proper announcement, so I won't talk about it until then. Needless to say, look for it. Look for me. I'm going to be talking about it nonstop. Okay. So today's topic is something that Marvel editor Tom Brevoort said in a recent blog post, and he said the quiet part out loud. I guess is the way that they phrase that now, where in essence Marvel has to continuously pump new ideas into the world because going backwards would mean that there's nothing new for film or television to strip mine from comic books. And this comes after an interview with the gentleman I watched from Udon Comics, where he said Marvel could make X-Men the number one selling comic every month simply by putting them in the old costumes and doing the things the fans want. They choose not to, and there's got to be a reason for that. His reason is the reason he posited is what Brevoort later said, which is they have to keep rolling out new skins for Marvel rivals, give new content ideas for other media. And I just wanted to talk about that briefly because, and I apologize, this is, as usual, is going to be very off the cuff. I have a very narrow window in the morning where there's no noise in my home. And even now you can see or hear a cat chewing on something next to the computer. Really love this place in Tasmania, but we went with a heritage listed home that was small for the vibe. And I'm loving it, but it means that there's very little in the way of in the way of privacy for all but a few hours a day. So this is my window. This is unscripted, very obviously, so bear with me. Okay. Is there anything inherently wrong with providing new designs to be later made into skins for monetization in Marvel rivals? No, it's not a moral wrong of any type. Is it tacky? Of course, but are comic books tacky? I mean, corporate comic books have always been tacky. We have it in our mind that there was this era where they were pure things, but they've always been pure product. And I don't mean that in a bad way. There's been so much great work that's been created with those parameters. So all I'm doing here is examining how I feel about big two corporate comics in 2025. And as a reader, when I'm told we can't do the thing you like because we have to make new things to be exploited. Personally, I like that honesty much more than trying to convince me that I'm in the wrong for wanting a thing that I like. So I guess where this goes is the validity of big two comics if they are just R&D, which people have claimed for years. But if they are just R&D for film and television, video games, why are we compelled to read them? If you knew that the thing that you were consuming, that you put yourself into in some way, because comic books are now niche enough that it's not playing Angry Birds. You know, it's not Candy Crush. It's not a thing that you do passively in a doctor's office. It's obviously a thing that you love if you're still here. So when you're told, hey, that thing you love is a cog in this larger machine, and aren't you proud to be that? I'm not. That doesn't do anything for me, because the only thing that matters to me is the content of the comics. I'm completely indifferent to these movies. That's not my passion. I'm happy for people that enjoy them. I'm a comic book guy. So when you tell me, isn't it an honor to have been the research and development wing of Marvel Studios? It is not. I guess where I'm going with this, has Marvel effectively made you feel like you are a teammate on this mission of making films? Or do you just want comic books that you can enjoy in earnest? And if the answer is the latter, then respectfully, what are you still doing reading these things? When the editor says, we're making these things to facilitate other things that are not this, it's not my effort to talk you out of reading Marvel comic books, but as always, I would just suggest that you prioritize comic books that come from a place where they are commercial art, but they're not simply commercials. Creator-owned comic books are made to make money. They are commercial art. No mistake there. However, sorry, I've got a cat licking my fingers. However, when done in the right spirit, not simply a pitch to be made into other media, that could resonate with you in a meaningful way, and you never have to second guess, was this done so that Rogue could wear a ski jacket, and then that could be later sold as a skin in Fortnite? You never have to ask yourself that with a creator-owned comic. You can take it on face value and not feel manipulated by the thing. And I think that there's some value to that. So I guess this comes down to why you read comic books. If it's because you love Spider-Man, I love Spider-Man. I'm not going to convince you to not read something you love. But if you read comic books because you're a reader, you enjoy story, there's something that edifies you and makes your life better, when a piece of genre fiction expertly done, it hits your eyeballs. If that's why you're reading comic books, there's a whole world out there for you that's got nothing to do with loot boxes. It's got nothing to do with in-game stores and and plushies. I'm just trying to say there's a whole space in comics that is not trying to explicitly sell you something other than comics. And I think that that's a place worth exploring. All right, running out of time.